Now, this was the first rum to come out in this series, and Plantation say roughly October 2021 was when this came out. However, as I say in the previous video, I think you can allow 2 or 3 months before it hit general markets. So I think from memory, it was roughly around December 2021, January 2022 when this came out. But this is the Panama. I'm going to talk you all through it in a minute, but I just want to show you one thing, the close-up, because this is why I love, and what I said in the previous video, you know, Plantation give you everything you need to know about this rum. So it's all there, every single bottle. They give you fact sheets, whatever you want to know. Before I dive in and give you the kind of what I think, the tasting notes and all that, let's have a look at the fact sheet. Let's talk you through what Plantation have essentially sent to me, so I can give you all the nuts and bolts about this rum. Now, at price when it did get released, UK price was $59.95, Master of Malt. So the equivalent of $75, 70 euros. So again, I'd love to hear from you guys around the world. What was the price if you got it? I realised this wasn't available in all markets, but if you were lucky enough to get this, what was the price in your market for this? So let us know there. £60 in the UK though, $75-ish, give or take. So what is this? 45.7% ABV rum, distilled by Alcohols del Istmo in Panama. Raw material is molasses. Fermentation time is 2 to 3 days. Column still, year of distillation is 2008. Tropical aging, 12 years in bourbon casks. So again, aged out in Panama, 12 years in bourbon casks. But then this is where, you know, there's 2 reasons why Plantation kind of gets a little bit of sort of, I don't want to say hate, but there's a love-hate thing with rum geeks and all this, that and the other. 2 things. Firstly, they think a lot of most plantation rum is dosed, and we'll come on to that in a minute. Added sugar, essentially. We'll come on to that. But secondly, you know, there's a lot of, oh, they've just ruined a perfectly good rum by by aging it in cognac barrels. Well, you know, I often see those same people talking about rums that are aged in sherry barrels, or, you know, and it's just this, some people just find excuses just to have a whinge and a moan. I love cognac. Cognac is actually up there with rum for me. I love and adore cognac. So for me, it's half the reason I love Plantation. There are many other reasons, but I do love that cognac vibe. So basically, aged for 12 years in Panama in bourbon casks, and then it gets shipped to France and it's aged for a further year in Pierre Ferrand cognac casks in France. All right, it's brandy casks essentially. So we've got 13 years on it essentially. It's been aged for. Volatile substances, this will mean not a lot to many people, but 140, not a lot to me to be honest, 145 grams per hectolitre. Esters 70, so a little bit, not too much, you know, those sort of funk notes, the what's the word I'm looking for? The dunder and all that kind of goes in is a little bit, but not too much and all that. That will probably come from the yeast more than anything. Dosed, 0. And this smells beautiful. This smells like what I kind of love. I get probably a little bit, first up, a little bit of stereotypical sort of, what was stone fruit vibes. You know, one of my favourite fruits is nectarine, so I kind of pick those. It's probably more apricot-y or peachy kind of vibes, but it's an interesting little note when you kind of get in there, like get your nose right in there. It's like I can't pick whether it's like a cherry maybe or a raspberry, but it's sort of like a red berry note on there. I do get a little bit of sort of toffee and wood influence coming off there. Maybe a touch of vanilla, not too much. I would say it's more emphasized like on that sort of fruity side of things. There was a little bit of spice. Oh, and just as a little bit of a distance from the nose. What's that? Reminds me of what's my favourite pear? A conference pear. I kind of get that sort of pear note. And actually, I dare say there might be a little bit of citrus maybe on there. Maybe sort of orange, orange. I'm going orange. Ooh, that's very different on the palate. That tastes very different to what I smell. The best way I could describe my first instinct, and I've gone to The only way I can describe it really is crunchy bars. UK people understand that. I think even translates into the US. I think people will know what I mean by crunchy. It's like a honeycomb chocolate bar wrapped in chocolate. It's more the honey. I don't really eat much honeycomb. Basically, it tastes to me more like that honeycomb than it does honey. I get a little bit of chocolate, the chocolate on the aftertaste. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. I don't really get the stone fruit off there. And in actual fact, I'm really struggling to pick any kind of fruit off that. It is for me, there's an element of nuttiness off the back there. I'll tell you what that reminds me of, because I was using it the other day. That reminds me of Frangelico, actually. So I'm going hazelnuts, not almonds, not amaretto or anything. It's kind of when I kind of taste nuts, I kind of, because I don't eat many nuts, it's kind of how I relate them. So liqueurs, essentially. I kind of get that almost Frangelico vibe off this. As I put the rum on the side of my palate, I get like an apple. An apple, but it's minuscule. For me, it's actually not a rum that I would pick to sip neat, if that makes sense. I don't think it's a bad rum. The quality I kind of really like, but it is inherently toffee, honey. I get the wood, the barrel aging off that. There's a faint hint of spice, nothing dramatic at all. Like not whiskey, you know, beginners, intermediates, we kind of get this whiskey kind of vibe. There's nothing whiskey-ish about this. This is very much rum for me. But for me, even though I do love column still rums and Spanish origin rums, I just want a touch more sort of tropical fruit vibe in a rum. That's delicious. £60, $75, 70 euros. Look, all right, let's go the obvious comparison. Abuelo 12, all right, this is like 13, 14 years. The obvious comparison, this is light years above Abuelo. For a start, there isn't the sugar, there isn't the sweetness in this, there is more character in this. So that's not a fair comparison at all. Would I buy this rum if I wanted a sipping rum? Would I restock this rum now that I've got it? Probably not. I'll leave it at that, but now I'm going to sort of tuck in to the Jamaican. The Jamaican one's next.